Hey guys, welcome back to my series, Making a Difference One Experiment at a Time. I'm Claire and I'm so glad that you decided to join me today. Today we have a really fun experiment. It's pretty simple. We're going to be making our own parachutes and then testing them out. So I'm so excited to do that with you. So let's talk about the materials list. It's super short, super easy. So for the parachute, you're going to want to have used a plastic bag and just cut it out in the shape of a square. You're going to need some scissors for the cutting. You're also going to want some string or thread like I have here. That's going to act as the strings that are going to connect to our little action figure. That's going to be our weight, and we're going to have him test out our parachute for us. And then lastly, you have two options. One, you can have a hole puncher. Today I'm going to use a little makeshift hole puncher. It's just a safety clip that I have undone a little bit, and it'll work better because my string is so thin, so the smaller holes will be better than a big hole punch. So let's get going. Alright, so we have our bag that's cut into a square shape. What you're going to do is you're just going to round the edges because parachutes are usually not squares. They're more rounded. So we're just going to round our edges off a little bit. And you just cut the edges off of your square. And then after you do that, we're going to take our little makeshift hole puncher and we are going to punch 4 holes. We're going to try to punch it in like 4 different areas around the edge of the bag. So I'm just going to kind of do one in each little corner. So 1 hole, 2 hole, 3 hole, 4 hole. And then what I have here is string. What I did with the string is I made sure that every single piece is about the same length. That'll make it so much easier when we're trying to tie it to here and connect it to our weight, our little action figure. So now what we need to do is just tie it onto the paper bag. Not paper, plastic bag. Okay, so when you're doing this, I just recommend double knotting it. And you're just going to use 4 pieces of string, and like I said, you're going to want to make sure that they're all the same length approximately when you cut them out. I just made sure they were all the same length. And then you're going to tie each of them to the different holes that you made using your safety pin, your safety clip. So you just go out through the hole and then around, and again, yeah, I just recommend double knotting. Okay guys, so once we get all of our strings tied on, it should look something like this. So we have our different 4 strings on the 4 corners. Now what you want to do is you want to attach the bottom of all the strings to your little action figure. So you're just going to tie double knot each string to the action figure, and then we get to test it out. Okay guys, so once you finish tying all of your strings to your little action figure, you have your parachute and it is complete. So we are going to actually go outside right now to test it out. So let's go. Okay guys, so now that we are outside, we get to test our parachute. So what you're going to do is you're going to get on a high place. I'd recommend maybe your adult friend doing this, or if you do this, be very careful climbing up high. So what you're going to do is you're just going to take your parachute and just drop it and watch it float to the ground. Good job guys. So basically what's happening is the wind is getting caught underneath your parachute, and the surface area, that's like how much area your bag is on the surface, right? The surface area from your parachute is allowing it to not drop immediately to the ground. It allows it to kind of flutter down. So yeah, we can go back inside and talk a little bit more about the science. Alright guys, so now we are back inside after testing out our parachute outside. So what we saw out there was when we dropped our parachute, it allowed our little action figure to have a slow, safe trip as opposed to just dropping him straight down. And what we saw is when we dropped the parachute, it actually got a little bit bigger. The surface area expanded. So surface area, it sounds like what it is. It's the area of the surface of the parachute. And so when you drop it, the air underneath makes it a little bit bigger. And there's some air resistance, and that's what allows the parachute to slowly drop our little action figure front to the ground. And the more surface area there is, the slower the flight down because the more air resistance there is underneath the parachute. Okay guys, that is all I have for today's video. Thanks so much for coming and having some parachute fun with me.